what's up you guys, and welcome to a brand new episode of What Am I Listening To? Now it's been a while since I've been away, and frankly I got a lot to talk about, but not in this particular video. We'll save that for another video, but for this video let's talk about the music. The first thing that I'd like to talk about is a brand new group that I just discovered. The group in question is called Justice, and if you like Daft Punk, you'll like Justice as well. Their music initially came to my attention with the release of two singles, One Night All Night featuring Tame Impala and Generator. As a huge Tame Impala fan, I had to see what this was all about. The album is known as Hyperdrama, their fourth studio album set to release in April. The day that album dropped, I bought that album so quick and I listened to it. It definitely filled the void of that Daft Punk fix that I was chasing since they split up in 2021. Some of the grooviest tracks I've heard in a very long time. Highly recommend you check out this album. The next thing I'd like to cover is one song from the album known as We Still Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. I'm not a huge Future fan, but this song came to my attention because it features The Weeknd, whom I've also been anxiously awaiting his third installment of the trilogy. So I was like, let's give this a listen, see what this is all about. The song itself, also called We Still Don't Trust You, gave off a 70s and 80s vibe. The drum beat and chord progression really gets my body going. It's just so good. I don't know, I can't really explain it. There's something that I really love. It's known as a 70s drum. It's a very subtle sound of I believe a snare drum, and a lot of songs have it, like The Weeknd's Sacrifice has it. It's just a very distinct sound of a drum that I just love, and that song, We Still Don't Trust You, has it in spades. I gotta say though, Metro Boomin is a very fantastic producer. He doesn't miss, he's worked on After Hours and Dawn FM, and he makes some sick beats, so I highly recommend you give this song a listen. Speaking of The Weeknd, we are still anxiously awaiting the release of his third installment of the trilogy that follows Dawn FM. It has to be finished, or at least near completion. We of course seen him working in the studio with producers Max Martin, Metro Boomin, OPN, and of course the synth god Mike Dean. Speaking of Mike Dean real quick, he just dropped a brand new album called 424. And if you like synth sounds, then this album is for you. The Weeknd even produced one of the tracks called Distorted Time. And I highly recommend you check out the track called It's in the Water. Sick beat there. But for all we know, we're still just awaiting the release of this album from The Weeknd. I will cover more of that on video if and when we get more news. But that's another album that I'm really looking forward to this year, if it comes out this year. I'm hoping it comes out this year. Now, the last thing I would like to cover is Billie Eilish's brand new album, Hit Me Hard and Soft. It's finally out, folks, and I was really surprised when she didn't drop any singles throughout the rollout. And I think that was a very, very smart move, because a lot of the times, I don't like singles personally, and she doesn't either. Singles, technically, to me, they're out of context. You don't really get the full feel of the album with a single. And a lot of musicians drop singles these days, and they really annoy me. But what Billie did was actually really smart. She waited and dropped the whole album on us so we could hear the whole album beginning to end with a fresh mind, not be like, oh, I've heard that track before, oh, I've heard that track before, but actually able to listen the entire album from beginning to end. And very smart move. The album only has 10 tracks, over 40 minutes of material, and I gotta say, this is definitely the best produced album from Billie and Phineas since their debut, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go. I'm just blown away by this record. I highly recommend this album for you to give it a listen, especially if you're a Billie Eilish fan. So yeah, 10 out of 10. I really enjoyed this album. The album really did hit me hard and soft, given the title, and I'm sure it will do the same to you. Well, that's all for today in What Am I Listening To? If there's any more things that I'm going to talk about in the future, I'll be sure to make another episode. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, be sure to give this a thumbs up and also follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.